So I already took out the date driving wheel. I should have taken the hour wheel out first, this wheel here. And then I can put all this in the same place, I think, because I know where it goes. And then this is a wheel that connects them both up here. So, it's pretty dainty. I'm going to take a photograph of this first before I remove it so I know where the heck it goes. And although I have the schematics for all this stuff, it's you got to make sure you don't lose the position of anything here, because it's kind of critical that things go back to where they belong. The components are very, very small in a watch. So I also have to make sure that you don't crush any components, like use your tweezers very lightly. This is the cannon pinion right in the middle here, so at some point in time I'll remove that beast. That's the cannon pinion. So let's get another photo of this. I'm almost finished stripping this. And I got to do the keyless work next, I believe. Well, the next step is to flip the movement over, right? And we're going to be working on removing the balance cock and basically the heart of the watch. The thing is, I haven't let down the movement yet. So if you don't let down the movement, then it could damage the barrel spring, the mainspring. This little puppy dog is still ticking, so it's kind of odd that the instruction doesn't have letting down of the barrel, the mainspring in the barrel. So it's an odd thing. Anyway, so I'm going to start working on this side now. Look really carefully at the movement there. It's ticking away. So I got to remove the balance cock with the balance and the hairspring and all the rest of that nonsense. So this is the tricky part. If you screw this up, you could screw the watch up and have to buy a new hairspring and everything else. So it also looks like the screws were kind of removed once before or scratched or something. There's not much energy left in this watch, though. So this is a technique for letting down the mainspring on this watch here. You put your screwdriver over the mainspring. There's a mainspring barrel assembly here, and what you do is you turn it in the direction of winding, and there's a small pawl here that kind of catches, and if you hold that back, it can't catch. And because it can't catch, the mainspring barrel just winds down. There we go. It's wound down. Perfect. So now that I've got the mainspring barrel wound down, I'm going to remove these balance cock screws here. Hopefully they're not the world's tightest screws. No, actually they're pretty good. There's one there. Try not to scratch the movement. I think someone else years ago, they must have serviced this watch or something, because it looks a little bit beat. So there we go. Those screws have been removed, and I'm going to put the balance cock into a special tray here that's lower, so I don't have to deal with lifting it into the other tray. And I know it's unusual, but we'll just say that's step 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be step 10 if you're counting. And then I've got to shimmy the balance cock up from the stud just a bit. Like so on this side, and then bit on the other side. The trick here is to be really careful, because if you're not, you ruin the balance cock and you ruin the spring, and you don't want to stretch the spring. So, and I hear the proper way of doing this is to grab both of them at the same time and pull them out. I think I have it here, and then you're supposed to lay it on its back just like that. There we go. So I'll just show you what that looks like. There it is there in the tray. So it's very touchy, and actually the spring looks like it's in excellent condition, so I don't think there's any. The pivots look good too, so I don't think there's any issue there. And there, it has been removed, officially removed. Now I'm going to remove the pallet cock screws and the pallet cock. And so these are the two screws here and here. These two screws here and here, and then the pallet cock is underneath. And that's the part that goes back and forth, tickety tick tick. So let me see if I got the right size screwdriver here. Got to make sure the screwdriver is right, otherwise you can strip the screws and mess everything up. Yeah, this is good. That's one screw. I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to put that right in the tray. And then the other second screw is here. You do not want your screwdriver to slip. If your screwdriver slips, you're going to mess this up big time. So you got to kind of grab the screws nice and gently like that. And I've got the tray all numbered, so I know what's coming out first, second, and third. And then this might lift right off. I'm not sure. There, it's lifting off actually quite nicely. That's the plate, and then I'm going to take a photo of this first. And then I'm going to lift off the fork. Or try to anyway. There's a picture of it in place that I'm taking right now. This is so I put it all back in the right place when I'm finished. This is a jeweled pallet fork and staff. So I took off the pallet cock, it's called, not the balance cock, the pallet cock, and the jeweled pallet fork and the staff. So this is what I'm removing right now, is the jeweled pallet fork. And it's the world's smallest. And you can see that there. You really got to be careful with this one here because it's so small. You don't want to bend it and you don't want to misplace it. So there, done. I got that. And as you can see, it's no longer there. So that's the part of the pallet fork actually is what you hear, I believe, when the watch goes tick, 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 tick. I've got to orient this again so it's in the right place, and I've got to remove the chronograph bridge screws and the chronograph bridge next. Alright, take out the chronograph bridge screws. There's 3 screws here. This one here, 1. And then the second screw. These buggers are difficult once they get to the end of the screw. They don't want to seat properly within the hole. So it's a chronograph bridge screws, and I'm going to just pick these things up and put them in the compartment. Oh, that one took a little jump. I'll get the other one. Just pay attention to what the heck I'm doing here, because the last thing I want is a part to fly across the room. That is not a good thing. And then I can remove the chronograph bridge. So the bridge should just be sitting on top. There it is. As you can see, it comes right off. So just grab this little bugger. That's the chronograph bridge. I put that with the screws. I don't believe I need to remove. There's a spring in there that you're not supposed to remove when you're moving the bridge screws. So I'm not going to remove the spring. That's what it looks like now. Now I'm going to remove the hammer spring, the hammer, the minute recording wheel, and the operating lever spring, and then a couple more components after that. But first the hammer spring. So now to remove the hammer spring, any spring again, you should have something to prevent the thing from flying away. So I'm just going to pin it down on this side and then move it up. There, I've released the spring, and there it is, the hammer spring coming out. So I'll just remove that and put it in the tray. And then after that, I need to remove the hammer, which is this component right here. That's the MC hammer. I'm sure you get a little picture of this mechanism first before we remove it. And then this is it here. So I'll put that in there. And then take another photo just to make sure. I'm taking photos on my iPhone just to make sure that I don't screw up the assembly again, right? Even though I have the instructions with me. Then we take out the minute recording wheel. That is this wheel right here. It should just come right out actually, so I'm just going to grab it here. Looks like there's some kind of spring in it or something. But see if I can lift it up. Oh yeah, it's quite the wheel, as you can see. So that's their minute recording wheel. And I'll throw that in with the spring and the hammer spring. So that's the movement without the minute recording wheel in it. Now I've got to remove the operating lever spring. That's the spring right here. Again, this thing will fly across the room unless you use some pegwood or something to hold it down while you're removing it. And you've got to be very careful while you're removing it so you don't damage it at all. So just put the pegwood over the top like that, and I'll give it a little nudge and see if I can pull it out. And from what side I need to pull it out, I'm not sure. I think I need to pull it out from the other side because there's a lever mechanism in here, and that's the one that sends the chronograph back to 0. So I'll just push it from this side. Nope, there it went. See how that spring just flew off? And if I didn't have that particular part on me, I would have been screwed, as they say. I'm going to put that over here all by itself. I have to remove the first coupling lever screw, which is right here, and then the first coupling lever, and then this part here. So first coupling lever screw and first coupling lever. So this shouldn't be too difficult. Let me pick my screwdriver here. That seems to be a bigger screw, so I'll use the bigger screwdriver. It's probably a 1. Yeah, that came out nicely. So that's the first coupling lever screw. And then remove that. It's just dancing around here. Great. Try to pick it up from the hole it fell in. There we go. And then the first coupling lever should come out without a pause, without a problem. You really got to edge these things out with small screwdrivers. The only way to get them to come out of their hole, their home. You don't want to, there we go. You just want to move it ever so slightly, and then it comes out. That's the first coupling lever. there.